Hey guys, TheGamingSandwich here. I was going for a load of my old YouTube stuff. It does happen occasionally. So I decided in my infinite wisdom to kind of make a recording on this and dive into my experiences. So I basically used to play Magic, which I don't always say on my channel. So I played Magic from about, I'd say, possibly 2002 to maybe 2004. So this was during, no one probably cares about this, so this is during the Magic Sets, Core Set Series 8 and 9 I kind of played between. I did have card sets from other packs, I think the Mirrodin series and the Kamigawa series, if I remember correctly, and I think I did the last part of the, oh gosh, I can't remember what it was. It was a set after the Kamigawa, but I did that, so no one's going to care about this. So I'm basically going to say about how I decided when I moved to be with my wife, so I uprooted, I left, that's why I did, I cared for her, I decided to move. So I moved to a new area, and because I moved to a new area, it was a bit harder for me, which people may have noticed on my channel at times. It was harder for me to make videos because I didn't know where the locals were. So I decided to kind of go all card games. So I found my locals. This is a local to the town where I was in, and it was hard, man. It was really hard because I went to the locals. I know they had a local shop. They sold everything, but the only community they had was Magic, and I was like, okay, weird. Never been to an area where they had. I think they had a little Yu-Gi-Oh community, but there was nothing really to write home about. So for the locals, I decided to go to Magic, and it was, I think it was like a late Thursday night. I think they had it, so I decided to go to that. And it really, bear in mind, I went to I think it was a modern tournament because a lot of my cards were allowed in modern. So I think I just had to talk to some people I became friends with in the area. And I did some gave them some money, and I just got some commons, and then I think I just made a few things and I could play my deck. So that was fine, I was happy. So that was cool. I've been this about 3 years ago, so I was like, okay, yeah, I can play Magic. So go to this tournament, and it was alright. I would say there's a lot of cussing and stuff, and people getting artsy, and people doing trades. I always got asked for trades. I'm like, no, I haven't got any, because it's like, no, this is my first time here. I'm not really getting too seriously into this. So I got chewed out by a few people because I didn't want to take it seriously, which I was like, look, I just want to have a good time. And so I had a few good games, talked to some people, chatting about bullshit, about Magic, and then it got to one of the other guys noticed I had 2 deck boxes on them, and he goes, "What's your other deck box?" I was like, "Oh no, I've just got some other stuff here from when I'm going out to other places." He was like, "Oh, why you've got 2 deck boxes? I thought you said you've only got 1 deck." I was like, "No, I have. I only got 1 Magic deck on me." I did say the keyword 1 Magic deck. And he goes, "Why? What your other deck you got?" And I said, "Oh, I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Vanguard." And after I said that comment, half the room just wouldn't talk to me. And I was like, what? And it was really weird, and it's not even humbling when you do this, that you go into an area where, because you play other card games, there is such a stigma attached, and it was really, really bullshit. And I will say this, and I've been to some horrendous Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments in my time. I've been to a regional that's been really, really crammed, and it was just, I think it was in Leicester, and this is during 5Ds, and that was a shocking one. But there's nothing compared to a Magic thing, and it was terrible. And I will say that out of anyone, if anyone watches videos like Alpha Investments, his rant about, I love this about his rant about communities, and I think it's true. And I will say Magic literally has some of the most toxic community shit out there. It's dire. And I mean, because when I went to the new area, when I came over here as well, because I played Vanguard a little bit, and I took a bit of a break because I was moving, and I just decided to kind of leave it because I didn't want to get cards because I was moving. I didn't know if there was an area. I went to a new city, and I'm recording. I keep forgetting looking at it. I'm recording a new phone, so it's just weird now for me to try and check for stuff. So I went to the new Vanguard area. So I went to 2 places for Vanguard. Vanguard, I mean, there was for Vanguard, each place had 1 to 2 guys who were really, really meta heavy contenders. One of the guys recognised me because he knew teams from Nationals a couple of years back, and he knew that I played against the couple of teams who won nationals, and I did pretty well. I've beaten people who've won Nats at Vanguard. That's not a lie. You can try and call me out on it for the UK one, but I have them as friends. I still play them. This is during Legion format, so I was during Legion and Break Ride. I was really heavily into Vanguard. I loved Revengers, and that was my shit, and I was good with them. And I was pretty good, and it's just a shame I just couldn't do more tournaments with them. But that was the stick. It's probably the one card game I'm really good at was Vanguard back in the day. So, but I said to him, I was like, I'm doing Vanguard again. He goes, yeah, I don't want to take it as seriously. He goes, yeah, but you did the national circus and this and this. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I just don't want to do that. I just want to chill. I want to come to an event. I want to just chill out. This is now my hobby and stuff. As much as I was like, okay, maybe if you take it seriously, some stuff I can't want that comes out, but at the moment I can't get free time to do tournament runs and stuff, and so I only get maybe a month or two. I got criticised by the one guy, but the rest of them really kosher, really nice. There's a girl there. She was really lovely to everyone, it was really nice, she was really social and stuff. Because it was Vanguard, she was more into anime and things, and that was cool. So, she was just chatting to everyone, lovely girl, really sound. I think she played Aquaforce, if I remember correctly. I don't know if no one ever watches my channel for stuff like this, but hey. But digress. I went to the Yu-Gi-Oh! One. Now, the Yu-Gi-Oh! One, which I was expecting to be a bit more of a shitter because I went to a city centre one, well, a bigger city than when I originally went to. So, because I'm in the Midlands, there's a couple big cities, so I went to one of the more bigger ones. I'm not going to say where it is. But no, I went to one of the bigger city ones, and I thought, because my one was not too bad, we mainly had 12, 15 player locals. This one had about nearly 30 player locals, and it was competitive from the off. I'm going to say that. There was a lot of competitive people there. People with, and I think, what is it? Rise of the Duelist had just come out, and people were there with triple tactics and droplets, and I'm like, oh, I'm not looking forward to this. This is going to be some bullshit right here. But there's only one guy who's really kind of a bit testy with people, but I had words with him. He was a nice guy. I mean, geez, these guys were really cool. I think they were more kind of peed off if you didn't have knowledge behind what you were saying. They could tell by me that I'd played the game for a while, and that I had. I think it was they were talking about something and they saw some of my collection. I had my Ghost Rare Stardust, and they're like, "Oh shit, he's been playing years. He knows this stuff." So yeah, that's fine. So damn it, my arm's getting tired. I really need to stop doing these. Hurts. But yeah, it's. I mean, I did play Pokemon back in the day, when it first came out, and it's completely different to obviously now, and there wasn't really a community back then. I mean, I'm talking. I played original base set and Safari Zone, so there wasn't really much community there. But with Magic, I will say this: the community is just. I mean, I've not even been on some of the forums. I've heard horror stories from people just being ignorant shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have some ignorant people comment on my channel, and I belong to some some real fun stuff on Discord and stuff. And I get that. I mean, I've seen some Yu-Gi-Oh! Comments on things recently, and there was one that made me recently, and I'm I want to comment on this. I want to comment on this on some guy's channel. He was commenting on Despa or Desperia or whatever it's going to be called from the new Dark Fairy set from not the Lightning Overdrive set after, but I forget now what it's called. That's going to haunt me for a bit. But the new Dark Fairy archetype, and I was looking at it, I was oh cool, I like this, I like the artwork, I've liked fairy decks for ages, I just didn't like Dark Lords because of the mechanic, and I'm looking at this, and oh yeah, it synergizes, and it's oh yeah, you can, if it's Spanish via card effect, you can get a bonus or something. And some guy goes, yeah, Law of Darkness, you can use a Law of Darkness with this. And it's okay, Law of Darkness is Spanish for cost, but yeah, okay, whatever you want, mate. And you want to comment on it to say, look, I know your intentions are cool, your intentions are pure, but all this is going to do is start a flame war that I'm just not prepared to just care about anymore. And it's a shame that what you want to do is just, it comes out of the right place in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think sometimes when people tell people things, it comes from the right place, but I think with Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't always come off as good intentions, which doesn't mean anyone is always doing it for good intentions, but I think a lot of the time it is good intentions. But people in Yu-Gi-Oh are very, I want to say, we have a certain sense of self-righteousness, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, some of us stick to our guns maybe a bit too much. I'm very thankful for this. And I've had to eat humble pie a few times with decks that I thought were good and really are clearly not good compared to what the meta is. So that's true. And you know, I'll admit it, I'm not the best Yu-Gi-Oh player. I've had some good nationals, I've had some bad nationals. I'd say for me, even with Magic, I'm a better Vanguard player than I am probably a Magic player and a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Magic to me also is very too slow for my personal taste. It's not even with the style of gameplay. I just find it very slow. It's not a critique that people who love Magic. This is my honestly 2 cents about how the games are. Magic is too slow. I like the new Vanguard, how they've done it. I do like what they've taken from Magic. I think that's a really good thing with Overdress, how it really can encourage creativity, and I think that's good. That's the one thing I think that was missing from Vanguard in terms of what Yu-Gi-Oh has, which is like an insane level of creativity. And I love the Yu-Gi-Oh splashability, and I think that's amazing. And I love the creativity you can have with Yu-Gi-Oh. Hence things like when I didn't say I came on Eldritch Shadows. That's just something I wanted to fool around with. I just had spare shit that kind of worked. But I always like looking around random shit that kind of like, this can work with this, and this is going to be, this can do this, and I just think it's fun to experiment. I'm not, I'd say, great. I wouldn't say I'm a good deck builder. I just like experimenting. That's just my like folly, as it were. But yeah, Magic community just maybe it's my experience. Maybe I just need a better Magic community out there. But it's just a shame, really, because I could have enjoyed Magic a lot more. I could have invested a lot more time. But I will say, in terms of like deck building critique, out of all of them, Vanguard has like the best deck building critique. No one really kind of like overly judges you too much on Vanguard. But then again, there's not much diversity in Vanguard, so not many people would judge you too harshly on your tech choices. So whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, I think they do judge you now a bit more, sort of like harsher on your deck choices, like especially in regards like hand traps. I think people are a bit more I want to say set in stone with those, because it's now like I'm not saying you shouldn't run like 10 hand traps, 9 hand traps. Do whatever works for your ratios personally. If you're doing combo, I don't feel like you need, well, if you're doing like say something that's very, very combo heavy, is it right to run like 2 million hand traps because they're just going to clog in your hand? So there is that. I kind of like think there's certain things that add some like bits to your hand. Like for me, if I'm playing any form of Dragon Link, or against my opponent, I still like to run certain hand traps. No one ever sees me play Dragon Link, and believe me, there's a reason for that. My decks are terrible, but it's because I just take it a different way to what everyone else does. I just like my way of taking Dragon Link, and there's no bad thing for it, but hey, it's fine. Mine's a weirdly stun one, and I probably may show it at some point, but hey, well, I don't want to get too many like thumbs downs all the time. I already get them enough as it is. But no, thank you very much for watching. Please, anyone who watches this, please put down your experiences. Please prove me wrong, and I really want them to do this. Prove me wrong. Prove me that Magic's a better community than what my experience of it is. Just because I want to know that like the community is better. But come on. Also, with this being like the year of lockdowns, well, last year was the year of lockdowns. This year's the year of sort of lockdowns between different countries. But I really wish that you see like all the modules and stuff with Yu-Gi-Oh, and like even with Pokemon you have like the kind of like virtual things as well. Magic, you have nothing. Magic's got no virtual stuff. Just absolutely come on Wizards, you're a bigger company and you can't do stuff that the competition's doing. Terrible. Okay guys, thank you very much. Over and out.